Alright, come closer. We're going to be building an AI agent that makes decision this time around. Yesterday we built an AI agent that could take in our leads right from our existing Google Sheets into a qualified CRM, which is also Google Sheets, right? And we're able to chat with our agents right inside make.com. We built every single thing in make.com. And interestingly, we're able to see how it was thinking. We saw the thinking process, the decisions it made, and the reasons why it was able to save every single one here. We saw how to give it instructions as well, where we gave it right in steps. We gave it every single instruction here, and we tell it to just log each one into Google Sheet, right? So with all this together, we want to give it a decision making step here. What we noticed yesterday was that we built this, but we told it should give us qualified leads, only qualified leads right here. But the thing it did was what? It gave us this because we did not specify what it to actually give us only qualified leads. And we also did not give it a way to save in our entire lead. This time around, we are going to be adding two more tools. The first tool is going to be from Notion. We're going to be creating the database together, and it is going to save every single lead we have there and only send qualified leads into our Google Sheets qualified leads CRM. And lastly, we're going to be giving it a tool for emails. So it's going to be sending instant emails to whichever qualified leads that we have. What's all this about? My name is Nirvana. Okay. What's this all about? So you can call me Nirvana. Okay. So what's this entire thing about? I am Nirvana, and I started this 60-day series where I break down the 5 layers of AI, right from prompt engineering to building AI automations to into understanding the different tools, APIs, MCPs, and universal connectors on how we can build more than just basic automations. Now, this is the first layer where we are right into building AI agents, and we're moving closer into building agentic systems. So I decided to build this together, starting from the fact that I noticed that online we have a bunch of informations that are not well structured, and these people are just making content, but a lot of people out there do not understand how to work on this by themselves. So I put this together in steps, no fluff, no unnecessary thing, just the core aspects that you need to know in what AI generally. So we are in day 44, and you can see right here we've moved far. We started from day 1, and we have just 16 more days to go right after this, or 15 rather, right after this. So anyway, so what we are going to do now this time around, and how we do it normally, is I put together a resource guide where you can see every single thing I'm going to do right here. So it makes it easy for you to go into this page every single time, up in here, do whatever you're meant to do, and it just makes understanding whatever I'm going to talk about easier and faster as well. So, and this also is a way I set things in place so I don't go, off the rail while explaining. So we're going to be giving it 2 more tools, right? And the moment your agent starts, making real decisions, this is where we are now. So I explained every single thing about yesterday here, right? And yes, on Gmail, that we're going to use as the other tool today, can send over 500 emails in a day, right? So our plan is to use this, meaning this is enough for a starting business to use at any time. So that is what we're going to be doing now. And we're going to be creating a Notion database. I could have said, like I said here, you could use your existing database from day 22. You could just tweak it, 1 or 2 things, remove some things, add some things in. However, for the soul of the people that are not familiar with using Notion very well, I'm going to be creating a new database in front of you guys. So if you don't know Notion, Notion is a note-taking. Okay, that was actually very funny because it doesn't just do note-taking now anymore. It does more. and there are even AI agents for Notion as well. There are a lot of things, and Notion is getting interesting. But anyway, what we are using Notion for here is that we've been using it for our CRM, as our CRM, and this has been helping us because you can use Notion for free. A bunch of the tools and things I talk about here, probably just every single one of them is for free, and I make that note every single time. So everything from Make, Notion, Gmail, and every operations that we have here is for free. So we are not, exhausting tokens every single time. So anyway, we are going to be creating our first one here. So let me just create a simple one right here. I'm going to be creating one here, and this is how I do it, slash, and we're going to be having, let me just database full page. Okay. Alright, so let's go back here now. So we're going to be calling it leads, and we're going to be filling in these things here, right? So let's, let me just, you can change it back to inline. I've not done this in front of you guys. You can change it to inline, and you can change it to a page back. That means you have to click in, but let's make it inline and fill everything up, then we go into a page. So I'm going to call in these leads, right? So leads, and we're going to be giving it a name for the first one. Okay, so this is proving very difficult right now. You know what? Let's note a couple of things, and let's just say the property is a name, email, company, rating, reason, the exact one that we have right here. So that's what we're also giving it as well. But we're adding company to this as well. So let's just change it to page. Okay. Yes, so we're able to use this now. I don't know why it did like that. Well, we have name. We have you could use text property. You could use anyone, whichever one is comfortable for you. I use text most of the time, so in cases where I am scraping the internet, I use this, because there are many cases where the AI might scrape something that might need refinement. So then I'm going to use text, right? Then I'm going to call it company. We have our ratings, right? Rating text and rating. Okay, so rating and reason as well. So let's use everything as text. Reason. So we have this. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. So I want you to remember though that anytime that you make a page here, you have to obviously connect it to, and to make this connection, there's a manage connection here. You can click on this, or the developer portal, which is going to just take you directly to integrations you've made in the past. So what I mean basically is, for you to have this particular page connected to Notion, connected to make.com rather, for you to have this connected here, you need to make some connections. Starting from here, you can make a connection right from here, and what you can see here is that I have numerous agents already created for me here. I have numerous connections here. That's Gemini agents, I have IMA blogger, JCIN, lead intake. I have various for many things I use, right? So, and this is how I created this in the first place. It creates new connection. Then what I have here is lead tracker, right? You can see I already made some things. These were the ones I made for the previous days we were building a lot of stuff. So what I'm going to do here is that you can see this is May and this is June. So let's use this. This is from May and this is from June. Our lead tracker. This was our latest one. So we are going to be picking, that's content access, and we are currently connected to clients, this and lead tracker as well. So this time around, you can do it both ways. You can add them here, or you can just add this directly from here instead. So I'm going to add in this here. That's a lead tracker. lead tracker, this one. So it's the same thing as you are adding it there. It's because I already created it here before. If I had not done that, you won't have seen it. So in your case, if this is your first time, you have to create what? Connection. You have to create connection. Once you do, it's going to take you to this page, and you can copy your token. This is the token. You copy this and you go to make.com. when we're going to add the tool now, let's add tool. Then we click on Notion. So we're going to create a database source item. And for you to add yours, you have to click on add, then connection type, then internal, then that's where you had your key. What I copied right from here, you can just add them here directly. But in our case, we've done all this. We have our lead tracker already in place. So let AI agent decide. Now we're not letting him decide, man. We're going to look for this thing ourselves. So what do we call it? We call it just lead, right? I believe we call it leads. So we're going to look for leads. We have this one with an S. Yes. So we're not letting our agent decide. It can decide as well, but this is better. You being sure is better. So we have our name, email, rating, reason, and company. So you can also let it decide right here. Just decide. Doesn't hurt anyone to decide. Now we are left with our tool name and our tool description. Remember, this is very important because these things, the AI is going to be reading these tools every single time. It's reading both the tool name and the tool description to know what to use every single time. So what we have here, so I don't go away from our explanation that we have here. So we have our leads, right? This is from Notion, and we've built this. The next one we're going to be building after is Gmail, but let's complete this first. So we're using save lead, and we're using this description. So pick this description, copy it, and just paste this in. This is better. So we're going to be calling this save_lead. Yes, save_lead, and yeah. So we could have mapped it as well. It's possible, but in this case, I'm trying to ensure that the agent is able to read it by itself. So most of the time, I just let the agent decide, especially when I'm just having something like this. That's name, email, rating. They are not like two, that looks similar, because there are some cases that you might have that's columns that might probably look similar. An example, you might have something like company. You can have another one called company. Well, it happens like that. So you have to be careful of what you do. In this case, I let the AI agent decide, or you can map it directly to be sure as well. But we have just 5, right? So this is good. And I saved this. This is our second tool so far. We're going to be adding a third one, and that is going to be our Gmail. And we're going to, let's follow all the steps that we have here as well. That is called send reply. We're going to be using our send an email, and that send reply. Let's pick this one. So what we are telling it here, I did not address this. I'm telling it on Notion, for the Notion to use this to save a qualified lead into the CRM. Always call this for every lead with name, email, company, ratings, and reason. So it's going to save any qualified lead inside this particular Notion CRM. So whichever one, this, for every lead, this is the instruction we're also going to update for here. Well, let me just address this very quick here. So this instruction, for every lead, first use save_lead, which is this, to record it into the CRM for every lead. Then if the lead is hot or warm, use send reply to send a short warm reply that references their. If the lead is cold, do not send any email, just save it. Once you've handled the lead, you are done. So you can see what's going on now. So now we're going to follow what we have for this one. That is the Gmail tool that we're going to add as well. It says use this to send a short friendly reply to a promising lead That means an hot lead used only for hot or warm leads. Yes, we are using this for a warm lead in any case where we want to do like kind of like a follow-up or anything in the future. Never send an email to a cold lead. This warm lead, we are doing just probably like one follow-up. We want to understand more. There are more questions like, okay, what exactly do you want? Do you want leads, or do you want, like, you need to specify it. You need to, be very clear. That's why it's a warm lead, because probably they are not clear enough. So, and that's the instruction I just read to you. So let's just fill this in. Let's use send an email. I've made a connection before in the past. That's why you have this here. But in your own case, in any situation, just what? Click add, then you have to sign in with Google. This is an OAuth, so it just sends you in, you connect immediately, and yeah, you're done. So you're going to have this as I do as well. We're going to update these two descriptions to what we copied right from here. All these that I have in place, all these prompts, these descriptions, they are just very clear descriptions that I explained in day 41, where I was telling you on that's day 41 and 42, where I was telling you that what you need to ensure that you are clear enough. You need to ensure that you also explain every single thing in these descriptions, and also give it a tool name, so that this AI agent knows what exactly it needs to call at the right time. So that is why we have all this in place. So we're also going to be updating our instructions. That means we're going to be adding this right under what we have in place. This one is let's call this that send underscore reply, right? That's what I added here. So yes, we have this in place, and two, we can let it decide, but we can actually do this by ourselves. It's best to do it by ourselves. So we're sending this to the person's email. I'm going to be adding a subject. I should add it. Okay, I forgot to do that. Okay, so I forgot to add something here, but no matter, that's fine still. So we are still able to do this. Subject, let AI decide. Raw, well, yeah, let's make this. Also let it do this itself. Attachments, let AI decide, but in this case it depends on if we want to also add something. So let's just cover this and save. So we have this in place as well. This is one of our tools we can call anytime. This is send reply, save lead, and log lead. There are some things I did not add to this, and I'm going to make the changes here right now. So what we have here, let's use this as what we are using to save leads, qualified leads only. Let's use this to log every single one of our leads. So what I'm saying now is that we're going to be using this to log every single one of our leads. It's not expanding more than that, because what I mean here is now that they are basically doing the same thing. Okay, you know what, let's just do that. Let's do that. Our tool description, use this to save a qualified lead. Use it to save all leads. Call it once you've decided the ratings and everything. So log leads. So what I mean here now is that this is going to log all leads, hot, cold, warm as well. So this is going to be logging all our leads in. This is going to only be saving qualified leads into the CRM. So we have two CRMs. That's what I'm basically saying now. I'm making these changes. I don't have this inside this currently. I don't have this here. So you need to know that this is just what me thinking about it and having the thoughts to just leave behind rather than deleting it. I just want to leave it behind. And this is save leads, right? Just hot and warm. Cold leads, I just want to save them there. I don't want to touch them at all. So always call this for heavy lead with the name blah blah blah. and warm lead only. Alright, so we have this saved now. So now we have to update our instruction right from what the agent knows itself. We have to add it right here. For every lead, use the save lead to record it in the CRM. Then, if the lead is hot or warm, use the send reply. If the kid is low, do not send any email. Just save it. Just save it by using that's log_lead. So once you've handled the lead, you are done. Okay, write one short sentence, then use to save. Okay, all right, so we have this saved now, and you can still save it, though we're not using anything from here. And yes, so we have all this set in place now. So the rule that stops it from emailing cold leads, that's the constraint I've added already. And I want you to always remember that this is from the prompt engineering layer, where I say the boundary about who gets an email lives in two places on purpose. That is right from the Gmail tool. We have to tell it right from there. That's from what we have here. That you should never send an email to a cold lead. What? Being careful, yes. Because remember, this is an AI, not us, making decisions this time around. We are told it here that it should never it should not send any email if the lead is cold, right? But we're also ensuring we tell it here as well, should also never send an email to a cold lead. So the agent gets to know twice that I should not do this, right? So, and the instruction, yeah, that's basically what I said there. So we're basically saying it bluntly, because one thing you need to know is that if we are only setting this right in the instruction here, we're not being careful enough. There are cases where you can just up in right inside here. So we need to be careful. We need to treat this like we are treating a little kid. That's how we are treating this AI agent. What I mean here is that, for an example I can make now is, you have probably a finance, and obviously the finance is hot, and you are right at the finance, you already added something like do not touch, right? So while you've added that, anyone could see that, but we're trying to be very sure. So we decide to build another wall so that we are going to avoid any little kid from climbing over, to, obviously a little kid or a baby cannot climb over the wall, right, and get to the finance. That's what we are basically doing in this case. So another thing you need to know is that right in the past, we're using routers and filters as well, but this time around we're not doing that, because what we have here, that was in layer 2, right? What we have here is already replacing that. These conditions that we're adding into the AI is already replacing this. All this that we have here is already replacing it. Every single instruction we're giving it here, and these several instructions as well, they are already working as filters and routers. So at the right time, it accesses this tool when it knows it needs to log every single lead, right? And it accesses this tool when it needs to save only the qualified leads, right? Also, it sends a reply here. What I mean here is that it's not going to send a reply by using this. No, it's not going to send a reply by using this, because this already acts as the filters and the routers already. That is why we can skip that entirely. So if you do remember, I said this yesterday, that this, it just saved in our code, and it saved it right here immediately. And this was what we were using as qualified leads before, right? So we don't want it to repeat the same thing here. We only want qualified leads inside here. That's either hot or warm, right? We don't want that code. We don't want our code. So we want everything hot, warm, and cold right here. So all these things are steps we are putting in place to ensure that this AI agent does the right thing only. So we're going to test the code case on purpose. anyone can test, hot lead and warm lead and feel good. So we're going to be using this cold one instead. We're going to do this again. Let's just say WhatsApp. Let's just do this. Okay, update mapping. Alright, so this is going to be, let's just use, it said update mapping because of that email part. Start chat. Okay, so we're going to be saying this once again. So let's see what happens. Going through. Okay, you already processed this lead earlier. You see what went on? It was able to recognize that we've actually done this. That is the power of your AI. That is what your AI knows. It was able to recognize we've actually done this. So let's do something like name is, okay, let's say name is Daniel. Well, we have Daniel once again. Daniel is always going to be a part of this. So let's say the email that is Jude. Right, so let's say the next one we're going to be saying that's budget. Daniel is a very rich man actually, so he's able to pay as much as 10k, and I mean 10k is quite little for Daniel, to be honest. So let's see, the next one is that's message. Alright, so message is, hey man, just chilling. Just chilling with you. Alright, so I'm going to be sending this, and agent is thinking rating is cold. While Daniel has a clear budget of this, his message doesn't convey a present pain point. So this email is associated with an existing lead which was previously this. So you can see what's going on now. There are two reasons why it did not pass this through. The first one is that it is cold. Yeah, right. The other one is that it's realized that we've actually saved this already before because of the email. So it's not going to make a mistake. So you can see what's going on now. Rather than an automation in the first place, the automation will just log this in. It doesn't care if I already have someone that is jude@gmail.com, right? So now let's do one more thing, okay, to make this work. Let's do one more thing. Let's just say Jude. Okay, you know what? Let me use this. Okay, so let's say this, right? And let's say Daniel. And let's go on. So we're removing the one for the email, and it's saying rating is code. It's just not allowing it through. Why? That's because of what? Do not match existing lead. They're considered two distinct, right? So while Daniel has a clear budget, what this is doing is already stopping the cold leads from getting through. And that is because of what we have here. Do not send any email, just save leads, log once, blah, blah, blah. We have something here, just browsing. Okay. Decide the rating. It's already thinking for us instead. So because of what we have here, it's just not saving anything. It's just considered every single one of them to not come true. Let's see what we have on log leads to see. Use this to save all leads. Okay. Did I add anything for log lead right here? Log lead to save. So let's say do this for all leads. Hot, warm, and cold. Actually, everywhere is cold right now. Everywhere is cold. So let's save. Then just let's save. Then we do this right over again. See if it answers us at all. Wait. Yes, I did, and it saved the lead. So that's because this had an issue, rate limit error. So this is on demand, blah 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 blah. This was why it made this mistake. That's why you also need to ensure that you are careful. So we just hit a rate limit, which was not supposed to happen, because I mean we're only calling this once, right? And limit is 6,000. Use this request token. Okay, all right. I think I do understand now. So this is one of the reasons why you need to ensure that you're using a model that can take in as much that you want to set in. That means you have to be very careful as well. I'm going to be using Makes.com's AI provider this time around, and I'm going to pick a very good model. Let's just click here. Okay. Let's use one of Claude's. Opus 4.7 is okay. It's good for agentic capability. So reasoning effort is low. Just make it medium, and this is okay. Let's try this once again. So you see that it's made a mistake just now because of what? The agent thinking itself. So let's see if it's even locked in. Yes, I believe it went in. So let's do something real quick. Let's go on here and delete it before it says something else. Yes, I want us to delete this. All right, so nothing saved here, and you can cancel this and try this all over again. And what it's going to say this time around is yes. So everything is correct now. It did this because what? I already told it right here that every time we get a lead, even though we know that there are some leads that are cold, there are still opportunities for us to convert this lead, to make them warm, then hot. So there's no lead that's probably wasted. It's only if probably the business is being attacked that, you know, people are just filling in a bunch of nonsense, right? So a bunch of fake information. So that's the only time that you probably need to work on some things. But in this case, you can see that what? So I was able to log this lead into our bigger database. That's the one that accepts the hot, cold, and warm, while it did not send into this that only accepts the hot and the warm, right? So that's what we have here, and we have Daniel, blah blah blah. So now this time around, let us see. I'm going to try something. I want to see if, despite the fact that we have this saved here, if this is going to save it here, if you know this changes, this message changes. So let's do this time around. Let's take a message that is very good, very clear. My business is stuck. Okay. So clear on 2000. This is incoming leads. Let's use this. Okay, so we're going to be using this instead, and let's see if it's going to change whatever we had said here. So it's thinking and saves. Okay, it did not save. Saves now. Okay. So you see that what happened just now is that it saved it on the 3. 1, 2, 3. Why did it do that? Because the message that we added here is convincing enough. That means this person is qualified. It says my business has been stuck with just 4 clients in the past 5 months. I need a lead generation system to get more earnings. So this is probably a qualified lead. That's the lead is hot, right? So this lead is considered hot. This lead is considered hot. Hold on. Hot. Yes. And that's why it saved it in. Now let's see if it's going to update what we have here. Okay. No, I mean here, qualified leads. So he duplicated it instead. He considered them as 2 different people and just went ahead and duplicated it. And that's because the 2 that we added here, we did not add a 2 that tells it, you know what, search if this person exists before you what update. If you understand what's going on, all these things are things we're going to address tomorrow, because I believe we've done enough for today. But I'm pretty sure you understand that your prompt matters a lot. When you're using AI agents, your prompt matters. You need to be precise. You need to know what exactly you want it to do, so that anytime it wants to make any decision, it makes the right decision. You saw the process it took me to have to tell it that what you need to log every single one of them here and not just reject them. And you saw the process that I had to tell it that don't take any code leads. It brought in code lead here because this is our general CRM. This is our CRM for auth and warm alone, and this is the email where it's meant to send email out, right? And it just sent there. Hi Daniel, thanks for reaching out. I hear you've been stuck for 4 months. You can see we didn't have to even tell it what to do this time around. We didn't have to, we didn't have to structure, build something that it has to say here. We let the agent decide our content for us. You can see how nice this is, and how it's going to be even better if we had given it what? Our knowledge. The knowledge about our business. Every single thing. We just upload everything and we tell it, you know what? This is my business, this is what I do. So you can see it's going to be crazier. Let me use that word, crazier, because that time around it's going to what? It knows your business. It knows how to respond very well on what? To any clients that comes into your business. So that is it for day 44, and yes, so it was interesting so far. We are in that's 38 minutes. Didn't expect for us to take this long though. So one thing you can see is that what really matters there is our prompt. Read the reasoning for both runs. We did both runs, right? That's the code and the auth. So the auth lead shows 2 calls and is saved. That is initially, but I added one more thing right in the video. So this time it shows 3 calls. Updates. Let me just write an update right on top. Updates in the video. I decided to add / leave that is the Google form, the Google Sheet tool to save all leads. Leads are precious, even when cold. That's a very good line. That's actually a very good line. So anyway, that's everything that we have here, and meaning we have 3 leads now, 3 tools now, rather than 2. So that's everything, and as usual, you can see this to connect the dots all together. You can see that now we finally have 3 tools in the menu. I gave an analogy of a menu, a restaurant in the past. So we have that's 3 tools that can use to make decisions, and it's going to pick which one is going to go for, which one you are going to order. And based on day 22, that's our Notion CRM. Now it's the new agent memory. Is able to know that we've even gotten the lead in the past. So you can see that you can chat with your agent anytime. It's actually intelligent. You can chat with it anytime and tell it, what have we done so far? The thing about this is that we've not added more tools, but it's still able to respond to us in terms of leads. So it's going to analyze every single thing and it's going to respond to us. You can see we had 2 hot leads, blah blah blah. It's even took every single thing here. You can see all this. This is, I'm obviously using an agent to talk right now. That is why it's having something as detailed as this. So you can see how nice this is, and I would say having an AI agent is better than an automation, big time better than an automation, because it remembers everything we've been working on and is able to respond to us. For lead this, I only logged it into a sheet. I didn't save it to the Notion CRM. or send a reply email, blah blah blah. That was an oversight. This was because we've done that before we started doing all this. So it was actually not an oversight. So because we just added these two tools and we just updated these instructions as well. So we can even tell it, would you like me to complete these actions for IO right now? So this is how having an AI agent is better and more helpful than an AI automation. So alright guys, I would be seeing you tomorrow on day 45. And in day 45, we should be adding more tools. Not 3 now, we should be having 4 or 5 tools. And we're going to be adding our full digital receptionist that we built back then. We're going to be adding every single thing here. We built as just one single agent. I'm looking forward to doing this together with you guys. Take care.